can help people learn about what we did and just get the word out, it will make a difference. I think everyone that we talked to who was involved thought it was a beautiful event. Many people had not had any experience with this before, and they felt the spirit and they felt all of the emotion, and they recognized the beauty in what we did. And if we can get that word out, that's going to make a difference.
Four-legged blessing ceremony is a traditional ceremony where four-legged animals sacrifice their lives to benefit us. We do the blessing ceremony to release their spirits from this world to go to the land of the grandfathers. And this is something that traditionally isn't done, especially with motion pictures at all. New Regency is the first company that has agreed to have a ceremony like this. It started when we were talking about doing the project, The Revenant, which is mainly about Hugh Glass, the Arekara people, and Pawnee. And before the project began, I had been vetted over and over again about why we wanted to do this. It's a traditional thing to do. So that's why I pushed for us to do this. What I wanted to do was maybe help start a precedent to where we recognize the original owners of the land, which is going to put a good solid base for whatever project's done. My grandmother used to say, lay low and peep high. So I've been waiting for an opportunity to do something that was going to help move the people forward. And it just so happens this was the time.
One of the really beautiful things about it was the people who had never experienced anything like that, it was obvious that they were a bit uncomfortable, and me too, but not uncomfortable in a bad way, but just trying to navigate the cultural differences to make sure that they didn't do anything wrong. So to have Jason and Fred encourage everyone to come up into the circle and really participate was lovely.
It has been such an amazing experience. I guess to me that's really meaningful that I get to be a big part of that movie. Our people basically had a lot to do with the four-legged animals. And the songs that were being sung, the smoke that was being offered, the tobacco that was being offered, the food, the water, everything all played a role in that ceremony. Because when you look at life, what do we need? We need food and water to survive. We need clothing. We need that meat. We need nourishments, no matter however we looked at it. And when we smoke that pipe, that we're acknowledged that spirit, whatever animal it was, with that smoke. And we always say farewell with a song that we sing at the gravesite, and we wave goodbye to their spirit. So that way they move on and not bother us here or take anybody from us.
I think the handling of it and the finding those period pieces were absolutely correct. When Hollywood portrays us, I mean, a lot of times it's scripted, it's a writer that does the writing, whether it be Indian or non-Indian, but I think it's hugely important that our people be brought in on things like this, because there are healings that need to happen, and we understand this world, you know, the give and take of this. Not to say that the non-Indian doesn't, but we kind of crafted that. We are like the beginning, you know, the indigenous. So I think this is hugely important. We were asked to come forth and do a prayer session or ceremony like this. It only adds to the fabric of all of us, you know. I know just by visiting with some of the crew there, they were totally moved by what we did. They felt it was a great way to wrap, you know, a great way to set this movie into the theater now, you know, by the healing moments, by talking to the indigenous and, you know, bringing those two worlds together. When we do closure as indigenous people, it's that circle. So I kind of feel that we've come full circle, or this movie has come full circle ceremonially. You know, we did the right thing, and it does complete a circle that needs to be completed. And I believe when we're called to do things like this, there's a spiritualness that happens that pleases our ancestors as well. I mean, everything that we did was just so educational and meaningful to us. So we might be the ones that are called in to do the healing ceremonies, but gosh, to be able to be on set to see how these actors and producers and what that takes, the give and take for that. So when a movie like this is done, especially for me as an Indigenous person, I get really excited about that. They're telling stories, our stories, you know, and this is the beginning of something really positive going forward. We've learned from each other, we shared with each other, and I think when you make that kind of a bond with a group of people, we can only go forward.
Jason, he said, whoever's at the blessing ceremony is who's supposed to be there, and however it happens is how it's supposed to happen. And that's the beauty in it, because we may have only impacted a small group, but it made a difference to us, and it'll make a difference to those people involved, and we have to start someplace.